Hey everyone, this is Julian from the Binary Lab, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to operate the IQ option platform. This is something I've been dabbling with for a couple of days now, and as you can see, I mentioned that I started this out with a $50 deposit. I've since then taken this up to $110.80. There is actually a bonus that I've taken, and so therefore it mentions over here that I'm not actually allowed to withdraw until I reach the required trading volume. And at the same time, this also shows me that without the bonus, this is the amount that's actually left. So that means that I can actually reject the bonus and be able to withdraw at any time. All right. So this is a really good piece of knowledge for you guys. That some of you have heard bad things about bonuses. Some of you love bonuses. Well, you know what? The good news is that you can actually take the bonus first and decide later if you want it or not. Now, the first thing I want to show you how to do is to switch between your practice account as well as your demo account. Okay, so if you're in your practice account, it's going to say practice account. In the meantime, let's make things look a little bit bigger and clearer. I'm going to hit the expand full screen mode. Okay, much better. Okay, now, so this is in the practice mode, and I'm going to very quickly switch back to the real account mode, and I'm going to be showing you why later on as well when it comes to sizing and stuff. But now I want to orientate you around all the various stuff over here and switching between pairs and setting up your charts and all that. So in the very first place, what's going to happen is that you wouldn't have a screen that looks just like this. I'm going to show you instead what you probably have to begin with. So most of the time, you probably start out having what is known as an area chart, okay? So this may or may not be what you like. Personally, I much prefer having candlesticks, okay? Some people love to use bars, but I love candlesticks. If I want to zoom in, I can either use my 2 fingers on the mouse pad to just zoom in, and then I can just easily drag across by clicking with my left click and pulling it across this way. I can also do an expansion by doing it that way as well. All right. Now, the next thing is that by default, it shows you a candle at 5-second interval. So a lot of people tend to ask, why is this on a different movement from any other chart? Maybe they have Nat Daniel trading view or MT for open, and they find that it's doing something totally different. Why is that? It's because every single one of these bars is just 5 seconds. So 3, 2, okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. New bars coming every 5 seconds, and this may not be what you're used to. It's really helpful if you're gonna do like 30-second scalping, but most part, I tend to just have them set up on 1 minute. Once again, you can switch them to bars if you like that as well. Once again, it's down to preference. I love to have candlesticks, okay? And just a quick tip here, for those of you who want to get a very basic idea of what the trend is, then switch it to line, okay? Line makes it really obvious as to what the market is doing. Sometimes it's silly that we can have a lot of information from candlesticks or bars, but yet some traders actually don't realize what the market is doing right now. So to make it really simple, switch it back to a line is super easy to see what's happening out there. Now, the next thing that you want to do is to be able to switch between pairs. There are 2 ways of doing that. You can either switch to a different tab over here, where you have your interface already there with whatever charts indicators set up, or if you wish to remain the current setup, you can simply click on here, click on whatever available asset, and then just click on that, and it's going to bring up that in the same window with the same setup. Okay, I want to show you on the layouts. Okay, let's say if you're looking at a couple things at the same time, there are a couple ways of doing it. First and foremost, you can actually decide to minimize your chart, and you can see in a nutshell all the various things that you may have on your screen. Okay, and let's say if you want to zoom into something else, you could just go into this one over here, click the expand, then it goes on the full screen mode. Now, what if I wanted to see maybe like 2 charts? I could do that. What if I wanted to have, two charts up top and bottom? I could do that as well. What if I wanted to have my charts out here like that? Or let's say if I wanted it to have like a main window and a couple of small ones, I can also have it like that as well, okay? And I just need to change my main window to whichever one it is that I wish to focus on. And let's say if I was focusing on this right now, this could be it. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to find out how you can learn how to do studies. A very handy feature here versus some of the other web-based kind of training systems is that you can actually draw on the chart itself. And the things that I use the most often would be the trend line, as well as the horizontal line, as well as the Fibonacci lines. Okay, so just gonna make it really simple. Let's start with putting a very simple indicator on there first. And I'm gonna start with one right at the top, moving average, okay? A lot of people trade with moving averages, and moving average of 20 is one of the easiest values that a lot of people use. I personally like to use moving average of 7, okay, and that's one thing you can do. So anyway, watch this video if you like to learn about moving averages. This is just a quick, informative 146-minute video. But otherwise, I'm gonna set up one over here with 7, and I might also do one at 20, okay? So I'm gonna put one on here at 7, and I can also select the kind of moving average here. If I want it to be more responsive, I can select the WMA, which means weighted moving average. And if I want something that's more usual, a lot of people use the EMA. Okay, I just want to show you that moving average, the weighted moving average, is a very, very powerful tool. Okay, it sticks very closely to the bars, gives you a very good idea of what's happening. We have two moving averages going on our chart. It helps us see what's exactly happening. And you can see here, it's actually forming a series of waves. So this brings me to being able to show you how to use the Fibonacci lines. We have a series of waves here in upper direction. So what if I started out doing a Fibonacci like that? And I connect my first wave top to first wave bottom. And now I have an extension indicating to me where's the 161.8, where's 261.8. And at 261.8, I can see that this is having a reversal. So therefore, I would be looking for put trades over here. And in the meantime, as well as when I see that it's going past 100, then I know that this trade is probably going to keep going until at least 161.8. And depending on what it does at 161.8, it may even go on to 261.8. All right, so that's how to draw the Fibonacci and how to use it in a very brief nutshell. I teach a lot more of this inside my training group, which you can check out the video description on how you can be a part of it as well. Okay, now I want to show you just some additional indicators that I like to use, and one of them would be the RSI. Okay, the RSI. I like to set up a very responsive period of 5. Whereas for my overbought and oversold, a lot of people like to use 70 and 30. I personally think it's a little bit too lenient. I like to use something in between 80 and 90. So let's just go for 85 and 15. All right. And now what this actually can show you is that whenever it goes to around these levels, that's where you can look for reversal. So over here, when it's beneath 15, you have a very strong chance for it to do a successful call setup. And again, when it's actually touching, again, a very successful chance for a call setup. When it's above here, okay, a very likely chance of a put setup. But as you can tell over here, it's having something called divergence. So this actually tells you one thing as well, which is that you cannot actually use RSI by itself. I tell this to my students all the time. Okay, so in a moment, now I'm gonna do line. So If I wish to draw a line, I can do so by doing it this way. Okay, and I want to change the color. I just need to select on the lines that I've drawn. Okay, edit, and I can change the color just like that. All right, to make it more clear cut, if I want to, let's say I want it white, I want it red, I can just select something. And now if I want to make it more clear cut, again, I can increase the thickness all through there. Okay, I can actually freely move this around as well. Okay, very handy. In one moment, I'm doing it for checking where the bottoms are touching the line. I can then move it up to check out if the tops are touching the line as well. And then now, I want to draw additional indicator because what I'm trying to do is to straddle the market and see what exactly it's doing. I'm able to identify an area of consolidation where the market can break out from, and that's where it is right here. I want to show you at this point of time, I think it's about time we did some trading. Actually go for a put trade right now. And I actually have disabled the confirmation for the trade right here. And if I want to see what trades I have open, I can do it this way as well. So I click open positions and I say, if I click show options, I can see, what is the price of my original trade. I've bought in at 2475, and right now it's at, this one is at 2490, which means I'm actually out of the money. Okay. Now I want to show you a very, very cool feature here as well. Let's say, okay, this shows you instantaneously that I'm actually out of the money. Okay, I'm going to add another indicator, which I personally find to be very powerful, and it's the Bollinger Bands. Once again, you can watch the video to see what it's about. And to set it and apply, all right, I'm going to use a very popular period of 20. I'm going to apply it right now. So over here, I can see that it's stretching the outer Bollinger Band, and this means we're actually in a very strong uptrend. I can actually corner it to something like that. And now we're going to go for a 2 minutes put on this trade. Okay. Now let's go for this one over here. And minus 12. Didn't manage to get the best possible price. Let's go in right now. Now, in the event that you find that, you made a wrong choice, you're not happy with that trade, what you can do is that you can actually click the sell option button and get the money back into your account, and then you're ready to take some other trade again. Okay, all right. Technically, anything beneath here would be the home run zone. Home run. There we go. It's close, but that's a home run. Notice that the payout over here is actually 90%, which is actually very, very high. Now, if I go into the trading history, this actually means that if I win, if I lose, and if I went in the next trade at the exact same size, I actually make back 90% of the previous trade. So I can very easily cover a loss over here versus many other platforms. I want to show you something as well, and this would be something that people who are, oh, look at this one. Your browser is running slow. This is a safety mechanism, and this is a safety mechanism that also tells you that you have an option to download the app to make yourself run a little bit smoother. This is the available size that you can trade on the trade. This is the maximum. So take note of this. And this is something that moves all the time. So as the trade progresses, what's going to happen is that it's going to constantly adjust itself. As the price is moving, this number is going to adjust as well. And it also adjusts based on the market sentiment. So now that I have something going on my charts, maybe I'm going to put on a few other things like the moving average, convergence, divergence. And actually, I think for now, this is probably quite sufficient. All right. Of course, for those of you who are looking to join my binary options training group, I'll be giving you more details of the indicator setups that I use and how to use them as well, although I've given you some really good examples early on. So these are some of the main features that you want to look at. The timings can be set up from over here. Depending on your strategy, you can select the trade that gives you a certain amount of time. Let's say if you went from 1, the next one would be like, let's say this is 2 minutes plus, 3 minutes plus, 4 minutes plus, 5 minutes plus, and beyond that, it would be these other ones. Please note the payouts are different between the short-term trades and the slightly longer-term kind of trades. And this is one of the reasons why I personally like to focus on short-term trading. Now, you can also look into things like leaderboard. This is going to give you an idea of what some of the people are making out there. Now, go on to market news. This is it's a very useful tab once again because this one actually gives you information that could be very useful based on what you're trading. So let's say if I'm trading the USD Canadian, for instance, and by the way, I can also search the symbol right up here like that. Click it and I have the chart. All right, this one is something that is highly affected by the movements in the oil. So if that is the case, would something about oil slides on 2-week low focus shift for US stockpile data, will that be very relevant to my trading over here? Probably, okay? And I could go into the higher time frames to get a good idea on how I'm going to be affected by that as well. You can go to the higher time frames once again by switching to these ones. So within seconds, it loads up. Very, very handy. Video tutorials. I've just shown you some of my personal setups in terms of the RSI, MACD. There are other indicators that I use as well, like CCI, stochastics. These are some of the ones I like to use on my own. In addition to, like I mentioned, trend lines, horizontal lines, and Fibonacci's as well. All these are covered in my binary options trading group called the Binary Lab. In the meantime, you can check out also what every indicator does out there, and you can check out like how you can use the indicators that are available to you in this platform. As you mouse over, it gives you an idea of what each one is for. And when you click on it, some of these ones, especially the ones right at the very top, they actually have a video to teach you how to use them. Such as the moving average has a video on how to use it, like how to use. There's always a how to use tab. And let's say you can go to any other one as well. Click on the how to use tab. They're very helpfully given you, ideas or pictures or videos on how to use each one. Check that out. These are details on the tournaments that are going up. This is what's the prize pool, what's the entrance fee, how many participants are in a tournament, and this one's actually in 3 days. This one's in 21 days, and these are the different things going on. So if you want to get more information on these ones, you can actually click on these buttons here as well to get information on these events as well. So over here, if you want to join the tournament, you can click the join button. It's going to be taking off your balance, okay? And everyone's going to be given a $10,000 tournament account, and 80% of your entry fee is transferred to the prize pool, okay? I want to get to some part of this that I find very, very useful. These are some of the hidden features that you may or may not know about. In the meantime, let's just expand this to full view. Okay, notice that the settings here like sound. And let's say if you're working in an office environment and don't want people to know that you are trading on the sly, then you want to set that sound to off in case you get careless with your mic, your speakers, okay? The second thing is that you may also want to take note that there's a support line over here. There's a live chat tool over here that comes out in a new window. Very, very handy. And instantaneously, someone's able to help you on the live, okay? But because I'm just showing it to you, we don't need that. Let's get back to this one. Now, click on the settings button. This allows you to set your local time zone, your interface language. There are many languages that are currently available, so select whatever one that works best for you. In terms of the theme settings, you can also select based on color scheme. And now on trading, okay, trading, this is going to be something that I personally like to adjust. I'm going to show you which one I love to adjust the most, okay? Buy options with single click, sell options with single click. This is the one that by default is off. I like to turn it on because sometimes if I click the price and it's not, and it gives me a confirmation, I may be able to lose the price that I wanted to get originally. I don't want that to happen, so I click on buy options with single click. Now, if you wish to sell options with single click as well, you can do that too. I forgot to show you a slight example. Let's just very casually do a put over here, and let's say along the way, what if I change my mind? Once again, I have until the last 20 seconds to sell. At this point in time, it really makes no sense for me to sell because I'll be losing about 92%. But heck, for the purpose of showing it to you, I'm going to click sell option. It's going to ask me want to confirm. If I don't confirm within a period of time, the value is going to change right here. I'm going to click the confirm button, whatever. So in this case, I get like 7 cents on this trade right there, okay? When you use this, okay, this broker doesn't have something like they don't have something like a cancel. Okay, so the next best thing to a cancel is the ability to be able to sell a trade that you mistakenly have placed or something that you may have changed your mind about.